Akwaba, and welcome to Expat Life Ghana. I'm Tony, this is my wife Ayo, and we're documenting our move from Texas to Ghana as we go beyond the return.
Last year, we had a horrible flying experience coming to Ghana from the US.
Yes, we swore to never fly with them again, if possible. A year later, we're giving Delta Airlines another shot.
Dun dun dun! Let's get this video started. We really did swear that we were never going to fly Delta again after our experience last year.
Right. For those of you who missed that video, let's give a quick recap. First off, we found out once we checked in that our luggage was not going to meet us in Ghana. We had to take possession of it in New York to recheck in.
Yeah, that is such a pain in the behind. Now, we had a really long layover in New York, and we had planned like a trip into the city. We booked a hotel and transportation.
Right, and there was no way we were going to haul all that stuff, all that luggage. It was like 8 suitcases, 4 backpacks, and
it was all that stuff.
Not leaving the airport with all that stuff.
No. And I have always loved taking advantage of long layovers as a way to explore different cities. We did the same thing a few years ago when we flew through Amsterdam.
Right, exactly. That was awesome.
Yeah.
A quick train into the city. We had lunch. Stopped. We took a boat tour.
The boys love the boat tour.
Yeah. They hopped on the train back to the airport with plenty of time to spare.
Yep, we got to explore the airport when we were there. I mean, it was great. Right. When we called to book our trip last year with Delta, they told us that we could take this long layover and that the luggage would meet us in Ghana. And I asked twice, and I was told twice, yep. And I even called back and talked to a different representative and got the same yes. So...
Yes. Well, that is not how it happened.
Not how it happened.
Not being able to deal with the luggage situation, that was a major disappointment. And then Delta, the disappointment just continued.
Yeah, it started with terrible, how can I say terrible more terrible? Terrible customer service at the international check-in counter at JFK.
Yeah, that plane looked like it was held together with duct tape and a prayer, And by comparison, until that leg of our journey, we were on very nice new aircraft.
So all the planes up until that point were very different.
So I was actually looking forward to this longer journey, part of the journey on,
with Comfort Plus, yes, it was very nice. Yeah, and then, and the Comfort Plus on that leg, it's like you're paying for the upgrade of Comfort Plus, and it was a lot less comfortable and a very much not plus. I don't know what that was. So.
Yeah. And then they made you cry.
Oh, they did, and I don't cry easy. So
no, you don't.
That was saying a lot. That was saying a lot.
Yeah. After the video, and it is linked below if you want to catch up on the full story. Delta did reach out to us and apologize. They also sent out a travel voucher.
Yes, it was not much. So those of you who think we got a free ride on Delta is not.
No.
But it was something. I'll give it that, and it covered the lost hotel and part of the transportation that we would have that we missed out on in New York. So it was something.
Yes. Well, now it's time for their redemption story.
Is this a redemption story?
Kind of. I don't know, but I guess y'all will have to be the judge of that.
Okay, you guys are going to be the judges. So we flew separately. You flew alone to the south, and me and the kids, we flew to Wisconsin. So different days, different experiences, different crews, different airports, but all still with Delta.
So you left first. I drove you to the airport and you got through with no problems there.
Yes, the process of getting through at KIA was so easy, from the check-in, customs, immigration, everything. And we boarded on time for the flight-ish. And we were all buckled in and we taxied to the runway and...
Yes, and that was the evening flight.
Yeah, it's
so you were like, yeah, we're about to leave. See you later. And I went to bed and I was like, well, they made it off okay.
Yeah, and we did, right? But then there were there was just a series of announcements in the cabin. We're not cleared to leave yet from the tower. We're having some technical electrical issues. We're going to be delayed here for about 30 minutes, folks. Oh, folks, the delay means that we need to re-clear from the tower. We're going to be going through that process here in just a minute. Sorry, folks, we're about to be a few more minutes here, and then we'll be ready to go. 4 hours later. I feel like an episode of SpongeBob. 4 hours later. We had not moved. Mm-hmm. We hadn't moved. And because we were on an active runway, right, and we'd left the terminal, we were all required to be in our seats with our seatbelts on and not be able to use the restroom. We weren't given any water or anything else, right? We had to stay buckled in our seats in an upright position for 4 hours.
Yeah, I don't know if I would have been okay with that.
Yeah. Definitely not. No, people started getting worked up. Once you get onto this flight, it's coming to the States direct. There were quite a few Americans on the flight. And one woman was like, I'm an American! You can't treat me like this on this plane! I have rights! And I was like, what she said.
Yeah. This Delta flight is direct from Accra to New York with no layover in any European countries. So it's already a long flight, and a 4-hour delay is pretty long.
Yes. Well, then they finally announced that they are taking us back to the terminal and canceling the flight after we'd been on the plane for 4 hours.
Yeah. And if your flight was scheduled at 10 in the evening for 4 hours, now it means it's 2 a.m.
2 a.m. Okay, so there was this guy in front of us who totally fell asleep as soon as we got on the plane, and he slept for the entire 4 hours, and when he woke up, we were still in Ghana. I felt really bad for him. He was so mad.
Yeah. I was irritated. You called me at 2 a.m. in the morning to come back and get you. Yeah, I'm in bed. I'm like, hey, why is she calling me at 2 a.m.? What's wrong?
I know, I'm sorry. So the airline offered everyone on the flight a hotel for the evening, or you had the option to go home, and they planned on rescheduling the flight for the next day. And later we found out that it would be at the almost exact same time. So we were 24 hours delayed. And I don't want to get a hotel room if you're like 25 minutes away. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, I love you too.
Okay, so they were offering a hotel, but what they weren't offering was access to your luggage. They were requiring that all of the bags stay on the plane until the next day when we all leave. So you couldn't get your bag back off the plane, which I know for some people would have been like...
Yeah, I got my medication on there or something.
Yeah, so everything had to stay underbelly.
Yeah, and I had to wake up and get you at 2 a.m. in the morning.
You keep saying that. You must not have enjoyed that very much. It was actually, technically it's a little closer to 4 in the morning.
Sure.
After we get off the plane, we find out that KIA, the airport itself, was completely closed down for sanitation and chemical treatment. Like, completely closed down.
Yeah, you sent me like a picture. It was like a horror movie, all these guys in white hazmat suits in a completely empty airport, walking around like, just scary. It was just weird to see.
I have never seen an airport so empty. Even like little small podunky small town ones still have people walking around. This one was empty. And I talked to one of the site managers there, and he let me know that this was like a pre-planned special closure of the entire airport. So all the employees, all the cleaning staff, everybody had been sent home. And that meant there was no immigration officials to process our re-entry back into Ghana.
That's funny, because you never left.
We never left. It's now funny. It's because according to immigration law, right? Like as soon as we process through immigration to get on the plane, technically we've left the country. Yeah. But then when the plane came back, now we have to re-enter, and that meant we had to wait.
Did they stamp your passport again to come back in?
Yeah, we had to wait for immigration officials to come back to stamp us all to come back in, and then document our names so that they knew that we were coming back out
Yeah.
the next day.
And this is totally not Delta's fault that the airport was closed and that immigration was not available. However, I did not have that experience. And if that would happen to me, I was like, hey, you stamped my passport to leave. You stamped it when I came back. I know it's only been 4 hours. I don't even need this flight anymore. He's going back home.
You
Tell my wee day.
would have done that. That's not even a lie. Okay, so it was not Delta's fault that the airport was closed, but it was
Right.
complete and total headache that added kind of to the situation, right? Because now, because the airport is closed, there's no cabs outside. So you had to come and get us. Like, there was no
Right.
rides to get at that
Right.
time of night. So thank you. Okay, so now...
Everything for my family. Everything.
So now we're all good, but some other people had major complications beyond not just having access to their luggage because they were going to be
Right.
delayed 24 hours.
Yes, right. Everyone needs a negative COVID test to board. And if they've gotten their test to fly out one day and been delayed 24 hours, that means they needed to retest. Oh, and to repay.
Oh, no. Yeah, we were still within the window, so we were okay. But now we were like right at the edge of our window because the way that we had done it. But we were still able to get on with our original negative test.
Okay, good.
And I will say this too: checking in the next day and kind of doing everything all over again was a pain. But what I did notice was that the airline, Delta itself, emailed us that morning. They kept sending updates to the flight information throughout the day, when we should try to check out, that we should be heading towards air. Like, they were there was a lot of communication. And when we all boarded the plane, again, they gave us all this printed letter of apology and let us know that they were going to be providing us with some Sky Miles. So that was nice.
Yeah, well, my process was way easier. Got checked in, got on, took off, no problem.
Was your flight on time?
Yeah, pretty much. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, ours was.
Yeah, it was.
Ours were too. So they were on time with everything.
The second time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All the connections were seamless. My experience was good. I will say though that we had the same feelings last time, where the planes seemed to be like the older planes.
Yeah. That on the way out, they just got nicer every time you got on another plane. You're like, well, this one was nicer than the last one.
Yeah,
So.
and I flew Comfort Plus because I'm a tall guy. I know y'all can't tell every time I meet people. They're like, "Oh, you're taller than we expected."
Yeah, he's
Like,
a tall guy.
Yeah. So Comfort Plus from JFK to Houston was great. From Accra to JFK, it was just okay.
Yeah, like it doesn't feel like there's a ton more room.
Yeah.
When you even compare Comfort Plus to Comfort Plus, like they're.
Yeah.
Well, because we were rebooked on our flight, the flight that all of our connection flights were actually full. Does that make sense? Because like now there's 2 planes leaving out of Ghana at the same time trying to get us all connected. So we were in the main cabin. We did not fly Comfort Plus. Let's tell you there. We were in the main cabin, and all of our seats on every single plane were in like the back, like the way back.
Last to get on, last to get off. Ooh, I would
Last
that.
to get off.
Yeah, you called me from Atlanta to tell me you missed your flight.
Ugh. There was like a 45-minute layover in Atlanta, and the flight that we took to get there from JFK was late to leave and delayed to land, and 3 terminals away from the terminal that we needed to get to. So there was not a chance in HE double hockey sticks that we were going to make that flight.
Yeah, so is that a strike too for Delta for you?
Actually, no. They rebooked us on a flight 6 hours later from out of Atlanta. They gave us a meal voucher at the airport when we kind of went through the process, put us on the next flight. And so the boys with the meal vouchers were like really happy to have the time to eat their way through the airport.
Yeah, my boys, you know.
So, I mean, the good news for me for this trip, I think overall, was that we did not have to go through the process of kind of fetching our luggage at JFK. It met us at our final destination. And that happened for you too, right?
Yeah, me too. I didn't have any bad experiences on my end. I will say though, I noticed the flight attendants in Accra, JFK, going to JFK. They were all wearing different uniforms.
That's interesting. Like,
one young lady had on her jacket throughout the flight. It was just.
why is that? Why do you find that to be notable?
Well, it just felt like. I hate to say like. The people who were nicer with the nicer uniforms were
Nicer people
in nicer class, you know, in the front, and people who didn't look like they had the more modern or up to date uniform were in the back.
That's kind of
just
strange
noticed
too.
that.
Like your crew is usually pretty uniform, so
Yeah, and they were not, and all of them had on different uniforms, which I thought was real weird.
Hi, I'm Leo. Subscribe right now.
On the way there, I had no issues. A pretty good experience. You had 2 strikes.
Yeah, but Delta did a good job this time of mitigating the situation with good customer service. And that's the thing. I mean, crap happens. I totally get it. It's what you do when it hits the fan.
How you take care of it, right.
That's what really matters. So this time, they were very proactive. They were very apologetic. They were polite about the whole thing. Everybody was very kind in that. That made a big difference.
Yeah, unlike the JFK counter experience we had last year where, customer service was non-existent, and interaction with the Delta staff insulting and beyond rude.
Right. I mean, if the counter person last time had been as polite and accommodating and kind and apologetic as this time, we wouldn't have had an issue. I mean, we would have been upset because of the luggage and the delay of our travel, but we would have been all right with overall service.
Right.
And I think that's the big difference for me. A way better exchange with the company, with Delta as a company, and way better customer service. So I don't actually count it as 2 strikes because I was still all good with things because they had treated me well.
Yeah.
Drop a comment below and let us know what you think.
How about on the way back?
On the way back, I was the one delayed.
My trip back was a breeze, like no issues at all.
Yeah. Wow. Well, for those of you who missed our recent video on what to expect when you arrive in Accra, I was delayed by the COVID testing process. Yikes. Yeah. Be sure you watch that video and are up to date on all the current travel restrictions and regulations. The last thing you want to do is get to the airport, find out you never filled out the online test registration form with Delta. They will turn you away, and if you're missing something,
They are totally gonna turn you away.
yeah.
I felt really bad when you called me about that. I was trying to put your stuff in online because you were having a hard time doing it with your phone. So really, do it ahead. Learn from our mistakes. Because you had gone through it, I knew exactly what we needed to do to make sure that we got checked in okay. So we got in, processed, prepped, everything back to Ghana, no problems.
Yeah, folks, learn from my mistake and be sure to watch that video so you know exactly what to expect on your arrival.
Do you count that as a strike against Delta, your experience coming back and then getting delayed?
Not really. That was on me. But then, the next day when I flew out, it was a different experience because they were like, "Oh, you're fine. Come on."
I know the rules kind of changed a little bit
Yeah.
in one day. Yeah, well, I guess that's more COVID than anything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had no issues coming back. But overall, I do have to say one more thing is that Luke was not happy with the plane food on Delta.
No, neither was I.
Really?
It was like chewing soft cardboard with.
Oh.
Yeah, that was just horrible. I can't even. Yeah, the thing that got me most was it was just not good.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. It was just.
Well, the boys and I had each gotten a different one. It was chicken, beef, or or fish. And I think each of us got a different one, but they almost were the same.
Right.
It's like they were almost the same.
Yeah, I think
People
I
have
got
different-
I got the beef, and it was just like I ate the meat, and the rice was just horrible. Yeah. And then the English muffin for breakfast. It was like an English muffin,
Yes.
kind of toasted with
Cheese.
egg that had an egg on it.
Did it have egg or just cheese?
It might have been just cheese, but it was just so bland.
It was really
just,
like.
that was it. It was like,
Oh, you
the
needed
fruit,
a
I
pack
ate
of
the
like
fruit.
strawberry jelly with that thing. It was
more
like,
than that. Yeah, and fresh fruit. The fruit was okay.
Yeah,
but,
Leo ate the fruit. He did enjoy
but
that.
yeah.
Well, according to Luke, KLM is still his favorite for overall food experience, and
Still
that's
mine.
Really.
Oh yeah, for
I
the
was about to
food.
say that's according to a
Remember,
12-year-old.
he ate those beans, and we were like, Luke never eats beans, and he was eating a bean salad.
Well, according to the 12-year-old with his vast international travel experience, KLM is still the top. So.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess the redemption was actually a redemption.
Yes, in so much as it's not that we flew problem-free. We did not have problem-free experiences, either one of us. But Delta was like, they were in it this time. They were dealing with the problems in a polite, positive, and professional manner, and that makes a huge difference.
Yes, if you're flying from the States to Ghana, it is much easier to take the direct flight from New York through Delta, or the direct flight from DC through United.
I completely agree, especially with COVID. Just knowing that you don't have to lay over in any other countries is really good. And although Delta wasn't a hassle-free experience, it's good to know that they're working on improving their customer service and retaining customers with a better brand experience. So
Yeah, actually, with that, hey, Charlie out for now.
So, did Delta pay us for this good review?
I wish. I wish, we're just being honest, I guess.
Yeah, everyone on the plane did receive a voucher because of being rescheduled. We were not treated any differently in any way.
Yeah, our opinion is our own, and it's based on our personal experience. Your experience with Delta may be different.
Our statements do not imply any guarantees, promises, or reflect the experiences of every user.
Yeah, we were not paid for this review, nor were our opinions swayed by any monetary compensation.
That was some serious legalese we just spewed right there.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
we want to make sure we don't get sued. And we weren't under threat of getting sued before or anything like that.
No one's ever tried to sue us.
No one's ever tried to sue us. Because we'll come at you. I'm joking.
Don't sue us, just please.
Don't sue us. We broke, y'all. That's why we do this. Aquaba, and welcome to Expat Life Ghana. I'm Tony. This is my wife, Ayo. And we're documenting our move. I messed that up. Bye.
For real?
How about that?
All right, ready?
Yeah, you just threw me off with that. What that? All right, happy. Hey, y'all.